Hello everyone, welcome to another video by Totality Education. Today we're going to study about non-finite verbs. It's part of English language. So let's get into the video. So to start off with, first let's discuss what is a verb. We all know what a verb is. It's something. It's an action verb. It's a helping verb. Whatever we do, it's a verb. I moved my hand. Move. It's a verb. I'm talking. Talking is a verb. So you're hearing. Hearing is a verb. You're watching my video. It's a verb. You click the subscribe button. It's a verb. So those are all verbs. Now, what are non-finite verbs? Non-finite verbs and finite verbs, they come under verbs. So non-finite verbs are like they are verbs which do not change according to time, gender, etc. But finite verbs they change according to time, gender, and other many other things. So let's say that you eat biscuits. So now I'm going to say you ate biscuits. So I'm changing the time. You ate biscuits. But look, the word eat, which is a verb, it's changing with time. Let's see how that happens. Let's see. I eat instead of biscuits, let's say food. Biscuits, I'm going to take a lot of time to type. So let's say food, and in the past form eat becomes ate. I ate food. So now we have these two sentences, and one of these sentences is present, which is this one. I eat food is present. So this is present tense, present PR. And I ate food, that is past. So this is past, PA. So I eat food and I ate food. The word eat here is changing. Oh my god, I completely covered the word eat. The word eat has changed. Eat has become to ate. So what do we understand from this? We understand that the word eat is a finite verb because it's changing. Their forms change according to the subject, the person, and the tense of the sentence. So how do we define a non-finite verb? Because this video is mostly about non-finite verbs. If you want about finite verbs, comment down below. Now about finite verbs, how do we define it? So I'll move this aside just in case we need to use it later. So how do we define a non-finite verb? We define it as verbs that do not show a distinct change and cannot stand alone as a verb in a sentence is called a non-finite verb. So I'll just write the main points here. Do not show a distinct change in the distinct change. Do not show a distinct tense and cannot stand alone. Distinct tense, I meant distinct tense. Sorry, tense. And do not or cannot. Actually, cannot would be more precise. Cannot stand alone. What do we mean stand alone? We'll discuss about that. So stand alone is called a non-finite verb. Non-finite verb. So these are non-finite verbs. That's how we can define it. So the verbs that do not show a distinct tense and cannot stand alone as a verb. Stand alone as a verb is called, in a sentence, is called a non-finite verb. So we can see non-finite verbs do not change their form according to the subject or the tense. For example, to eat and eating in the following sentences. Post, let's say, let's get a guy named Post. Post loves to eat biscuits. Post loved to eat biscuits as a puppy. Let's change the word. Let's change Post, the subject, into, let's say, I. So I That's kind of hard to see. Okay, yeah. I love to eat food. I love to eat food. Now, I say I loved to eat food. Now, in the sentence, you can see that to eat over here. So the word to eat is the same in both the sentences. So in the first sentence, this sentence is a present form, present, PR. And the second sentence, first and second. In the second sentence, you can see that this sentence is past. So it shows a past form. So you can say that because of the word love. The word love. Let me do that in a different color. The word love. So with the word love, you can say know the tense of the sentence. But the word to eat, which is also a verb, these two words are a verb. Using from this you can understand that they're both. One of them is a finite and one of them is a non-finite. Can you tell which one? Well, obviously, love is a finite verb and to eat is a non-finite verb. Because when the tense changed, the verb to eat did not change, but the word love changed. From love became loved. So so that's how you can see the difference. Love is a finite verb. To eat is a non-finite verb. Always remember this example to kind of remember the difference between finite and non-finite verbs. Now since this video is all about non-finite verbs, let's discuss the types of non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs can be divided into infinitives, participles, and gerunds. And infinitives again will be divided into two infinitives and bare infinitives. Participles will be divided into past participle and present participle. We also have perfect participle. We won't be discussing about that. So yeah. So as I just said, there are two types of infinitives, two infinitives, and we have bare infinitives. So let's discuss each one in detail. So two infinitives is pretty simple to understand. So let's say we have a verb eat. We have a verb eat. Now this verb is a finite verb because it can change to eat can change to ate. So to make this a non-finite verb, we add the word to it. So to eat. Now this to eat is a non-finite verb, as we saw in the example up here. I love to eat food. I loved to eat food. So it became an infinitive. So you can say that this to eat is a to infinitive. So when we add the word to before a verb, it becomes a to infinitive, and when we don't, it becomes a bare infinitive. So first let's discuss in detail about to infinitive. Let's give some examples, shall we? Let's see. We have to open, we have to buy, we have to let, to wish, and we have so many other ones. So this is just a few examples of to infinitives, but we have a lot other examples. Now let's move on to bare infinitives. Sometimes infinitives are used without to. When an infinitive hasn't got the preposition to before it, it's called a bare infinitive. Bare infinitives appear after objects following verbs such as feel, see, watch, hear, etc. After objects following verbs like let, help, bid, make, overheard, etc. All modals and other auxiliary verbs like can, could, must, and can, could, must, except for ought. Ought is an exception. Ought is O-U-G-H-T, ought. So after ought we get a to infinitive, not a bare infinitive. So also we get with expressions like had better, would rather, sooner than, and rather than. So let's look at some examples. Mother heard the baby cry. The word cry. We see the word cry. Oh man, what is that? The word cry we have here. Um, the word cry. This word cry is an infinitive. It's a bare infinitive. We don't have the word to here. So it's a bare infinitive in this sentence because see, as per we discussed, we have the baby over here. So it can't so a to infinitive cannot come after a noun or something. So baby heard, mother heard the baby cry. Now we can say so now this word the cry doesn't change after even if we change the tense. Let's say we change the gender. Father heard the baby cry. The word cry is still cry. We can say the mother will hear the baby cry. The word is still cry. It didn't change. We have who can make the baby laugh. Well, it's a question. Who can is a model or an is a model. We like we discussed after models and other auxiliary verbs like can, could, must. We have a bare infinitive and we have can over here. So we can say make is also a bare infinitive. Make. Who can make the baby laugh? So we have visit, we have leave, see, run, lose. When we don't have when we don't have to before a verb, we make it we call it a bare infinitive. And like that there are so many other more examples. So well, sometimes it's kind of hard to differentiate between um, like how do you know if this is a bare infinitive? How do I know if it's an infinitive itself? So we'll discuss about that later. So that's about the infinitives. Wait, we didn't discuss in detail about two infinitives. Let me do that. So two infinitives. These infinitives are made by the base form of the verbs preceded by the preposition to. For example, to be, to go, to talk, to receive, to run, etc. They are never the main verbs of sentences. If the sentence were to change tense, the infinitives would remain the same. For example, I wish to meet him, or she wishes to meet him. They wished to meet him. So it was present, it was past. To wish, to meet didn't change. He is the first person to arrive at the site. So it's present sentence, and to arrive is the to infinitive. They were the first ones to arrive at the site. To arrive is still the same even though the tense has changed to past, from present to past. So the verbs to meet and to arrive do not change when the subject or tense change, whereas finite verbs wish and is change according to person, number, and tense. We frequently use two infinitives after some main verbs. Here are a few such verbs: agree, arrange, appear, attempt, ask, choose, claim, decide, and etc. etc. There's so many other verbs we can use two infinitives after. Um, Here are some verbs that we often use before a question word, and to infinitive: ask, decide, discover, discuss, forget, know, learn, remember, say, think, etc. For example, have you decided when to start? They've wanted they've wondered what to do during the summer holidays. To do, to start. To and enough. Let me explain that. And when I say to, I meant the to with double O, and we have enough, ENOUGH. To and enough. We often use to infinitive along with to and enough. Look at these sentences. The hall was so small that all of them couldn't sit comfortably. So we can change this sentence into this: the hall was too small for all of them to sit comfortably. So let's write that sentence we just said. the hall was too small for all of them to sit. So this is the sentence we just said. The hall was too small for all of them to sit. Over here we have too small and we have to sit. So we will be discussing about this. So we often use it along with to. So when we say I'm too full to eat anymore. So when we say I am too full to eat anymore, I am too full to eat anymore. That time we still see that the word to is still there. I am too full to eat anymore. So you can see over here too, I have the word too full and to eat. So we often use to and to together. I was very excited. I couldn't sleep. I was too excited to sleep. The speech will not be loud. Everyone will not be able to hear it. The speech will not be loud enough for everyone to hear. Now we're talking about enough. So let's see. The speech will not be loud enough, ENOUGH, loud enough for everyone to hear. So to hear is the to infinitive. So we have loud enough. The spelling is wrong. It will not be loud enough for everyone to hear. So we have to hear. Oh God. We have to hear. Let's see. To hear. The speech will not be loud enough for everyone to hear. So that's the to infinitives. We use it a lot along with the words to and enough. Now let's go and see or discuss about what participles are. Now we have participles. So there are two types of participles, past participle and present participle. Let's discuss each one in detail. So the most commonly used participles are present participle and past participle. Sometimes we also use perfect participles, but we won't be discussing about them in detail. So a present participle is a form of a verb that ends in ing, and the past participle of a verb usually ends in ed, d, t, en or n. So past participle usually ends in these letters. It ends in ed, d, t, en and n. So a word in a sentence, if it's a past participle, it will always end in either of these words: ed, d, t, en or n. So these are the past participles. Now present participles always end in only one type, that is ing. But you may ask, how do I differentiate a past participle from a gerund? Don't worry, we'll discuss about that towards the end of the video. So stay tuned to watch that. So a participle is used with other word. A participle is always used with other words to make continuous. When we want to make it continuous, it's present participle. And perfect, and perfect tenses. When it's perfect tenses, we use past participle. Participles can also be used as adjectives. Like all adjectives, they modify a noun. Like for example, he would be a good opening batsman for our team. So opening modifies batsman. So the word opening over here is a present participle. And now we have the newly constructed house on this road belongs to Mr. Whatever word you go, Mr. X. Constructed modifies house. So the word constructed, it modifies mouse. So always remember, participles, in particular, participles are usually used as adjectives. So that's one of the way you can define, you can differentiate between a participle and a gerund. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'll give you a few exercises on differentiating between them towards the end. So stay tuned. So now joining sentences. Participles can also be used to join pairs of sentences. When two sentences state facts, we convert the verb of the less important sentence into a participle. For example, let's say Sam spent 3 hours in the library. He is writing his essay. So Sam spent 3 hours in the library writing his essay. So we joined two sentences and we made that one sentence shorter. So the less important sentence is converted into a participle. We said he is writing his essay. Instead of that, Sam spent 3 hours in the library writing his essay. Instead of saying he was writing his essay, we just say writing his essay towards the end of the sentence. If two sentences talk about two actions happening one after the other in succession, we change the verb of the first action into a present participle. For example, he opened the window, he looked out. So instead of saying it like that, we can say opening the window, he looked out. Here we add a comma after opening the window. I'll type that down. Opening the window, he looked out. And over here, after we say opening the window, we add a comma. So we say opening the window, a pause, he looked out. So this is the sentence. So Nina ran to the nearest store. She bought the medicine. So instead of saying that, we can say in one sentence, running to the nearest store, Nina bought the medicine. So running to the nearest store, Control D is not working. Running to the nearest store, running to the nearest store, Nina bought the medicine. Running to the nearest store, Nina bought the medicine. So this is another sentence which I just said. And also here we add a comma. Running to the nearest store, a pause where we get a comma, and Nina bought the medicine. If one action was completed sometime before the other, we use having plus past participle form of the verb of the first action. This is called perfect participle. So I said we won't discuss about it much. It's just one line, just a little bit. If one action was completed sometime before the other, we use having plus past participle. So when we have having plus past participle, let's see, having plus past participle, we have that. So this would become a present. Perfect participle. Perfect participle. Perfect participle. So now let's look at a few sentences. Rajiv took a bath. He sat down to study. Having taken a bath. So how did the sentence go? Having taken a bath. Having taken a bath. Comma. So we put a comma here. Rajiv sat down to study. So having taken a bath, Rajiv sat down to study. So this is an example of a perfect participle. Maria finished reading the book. She wrote a book review on it. Having finished reading the book, Maria wrote a book review on it. So it's usually in the starting of the sentence. So having taken a bath, having finished reading. So having taken over here is having plus past participle. So having here was having plus past participle. Taken over here, as you can see, is a past participle because we have the word en at the end, like as we have discussed up here. En is a word over here. When we add en at the end, it becomes a past participle. So having taken a bath, so this entire word will now become a past participle. This entire two words, is a past participle. Rajiv sat down to study. Now let's discuss about gerunds. So gerunds are like verbs, but they're in the form of nouns. So what do I mean by verbs in the form of nouns? I mean like let's take a word. Let's say swimming. Swimming. So as we all know, swimming is a verb. So we all know that swimming is a verb. But did you know that swimming can be used in the form of a noun? Yes, well, that is a gerund. So when we use a verb as a noun, it's called a gerund. So let's take an example. So let's say swimming is swimming helps you to stay healthy. In this sentence, what are the verbs? So let's underline the verb. So helps is a verb. I'm supposed to write helps you to stay. Over here is an infinitive. To stay here is an infinitive. And now the word swimming over here, but it's not a verb, it's a noun. So over here swimming is used as your subject. We all know what a subject is, right? Do I have to make a video on sentences? If you want to, then comment down below. Well, the swimming is a subject over here, and it is acting as a gerund or a noun. So swimming helps you to stay healthy. That one mistake just keeps catching my eye. Helps, yes, that's better. Swimming helps you to stay healthy. Well, so to stay over here, as we all know, is an infinitive, as we discussed above, and swimming over here is a gerund. So now we have something called as a present participle, which also ends with the word ing. Now, how do I differentiate between a present participle and a gerund? I have a question in my exam. Let's say, so you get a sentence, and that sentence, is it a gerund or is it a present participle? Well, it's pretty simple if you look at it. Let's say let's take an example of a present participle. um yeah, the same one, the opening batsman. He is a good opening batsman for the team. And then we have another sentence. We have another sentence. I'll put it in yellow. And this sentence is reading should be a daily habit. Reading should be a daily habit. Now we have now we have two sentences, and in these two sentences we have two words with ing in them. So we have opening, which has ing. Why is an arrow coming? I don't want an arrow. We have opening, which has the word ing in the ending, and we have reading over here, which is the ing in the ending. Now, which of these is a a present participle, and which is a gerund? Well, obviously we could find, because opening over here is talking about the about the batsman. Actually, we should look at the whole two words. Good opening batsman is a good opening batsman. So opening modifies batsman. So it's this word opening over here is kind of an adjective. It's kind of an adjective to the person over here. That the person is the batsman. The person is the batsman. But reading over here, it's not describing anyone. It's not even an adjective. It's not even a verb. This reading over here is a noun. So this over here is a noun, and this is a verb. So this is a verb. So when you know opening is a verb, you know it's a present participle, because gerunds are usually nouns. But this opening over here isn't actually acting as a noun. We over here mean an adjective. See, these participles over here, they usually act as adjectives. And these gerunds over here, they usually act as nouns. So that's pretty easy for us to know that how we can differentiate between present participle and a gerund. Now, let's think of an example. Okay, let's say dancing bear. Let's say dancing bear. Um, I'll change the color to yellow and say there is a dancing bear. And now I'm gonna make another sentence. Dancing is a daily habit for the bear. Now we have two sentences over here, and both the sentences have the word dancing. So we have dancing and we have dancing. Now we have two sentences with both dancing. Now, which of these is a gerund and which of these is a participle? I'll give you 5 seconds time. 5 seconds time. Okay, so find which one is a participle and which one is a gerund. Well, it's pretty easy if you come to think of it. We have over here dancing. The word dancing over here is describing the bear. The word dancing over here is describing the bear. But the word dancing over here, it's not describing anything. It's a word itself. It's a noun. It's acting as a noun. Dancing is a daily habit for the bear. So this over here will come to be a gerund, and this over here will come to be a present participle, PRP. So that's how you can differentiate. See, over here, the word dancing is describing the bear as an adjective, and dancing over here is not describing anything. It's a word. It's acting as a noun. So as you can see, anything, most of the participles, they usually come before the noun, like just before the noun. Like good opening batsman, constructed house, dancing bear, and flying carpet, rising sun, faded pictures, so, broken TV, shortlisted candidates, etc. So all of them, they mostly come just before the noun, and the word over here, it's a noun itself. It's acting as a noun itself. So this is a gerund. So that's how you can differentiate between this between present participle and gerunds. So that this is all that we have discussed in this video, and thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, and I'll upload more content like this. In this throughout this week, I will be uploading English videos um, and other videos as well. But I'll be uploading 4 videos on English. This is the first one, and the other ones will be coming in short. So don't worry about them. They will come in soon. Once they get uploaded, I will link them down in the description below. So make sure you watch them. Well, other than that, thank you and goodbye.